And we welcome you to Huff High School tonight. We're Cornelius, North Carolina. It's the spot for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A second round in the West region. It features a pair of 10-1 teams. The fifth-seeded Huff Huskies taking on the Patriots of Independence out of the Southwestern 4A Conference. Hi, everyone. Kendall Lewis here with you alongside former Butler head coach Brian Hales, where tonight should be a fun-filled matchup. Coach Hales, you think about two powers. You look at what Huff's been able to do all season long, winners of 10 straight games coming into this one, and you take a look at their road to get to this point in a potential matchup next week with Talga Mallard Creek. That game pushed back to tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Especially Huff and Independence, both teams expected to be here at this point. Kind of a little bit different perspective for Huff. The questions out there for them, and they know it's loud every year, is this going to be the year? Coach Baker told us the other day, this team's different. It's not about talent, but it's about team, and it's about playing together. And for Coach DJ McFadden and his team, he talked a lot this year about finish. They've made a couple of deep playoff runs here in the last few years, and now they're talking about finishing. And what a great opportunity for both teams. There's just going to be so much talent on the field, on the sidelines. It's going to be a great night.
No question about it. And for Independence, they were road warriors a year ago, had to go on the road, made that phenomenal run all the way to the regional final last year. So they've been in this spot before, but tonight their biggest test this season.
Right. They're going to be pushed. And especially you're talking about pushing, it's going to be really the offensive, defensive lines for Huff. We're talking about an offensive line that averages, Kendall, 305 pounds a man. And I think that they may have been short a little bit. They might have got them later in the day. But then for Independence, you got big plays. And that's one thing Coach McFadden talked about was they got to, at worst, be able to neutralize the offensive defensive lines from Huff. And, you get to this time of year, and that line play becomes that much more important.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As we mentioned, the winner of this one gets the winner of Watauga and Mallard Creek. That game will not be played until tomorrow night. Some snow coming through Western North Carolina yesterday evening. We are almost set for kickoff here at Huff High School on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. We'll take it. Kickoff coming up. Second round playoff action right after these messages. And we welcome you back to Huff High School, almost set for kickoff between the Huskies and the Patriots. Huff out of the Queen City 3A, 4A split conference, always a really tough conference when you think about the likes of West Charlotte, Mallard Creek, who obviously is still in it, in a potential matchup next week, possibly for the Huskies if they can win tonight against, and Mallard Creek picks up a win at Watauga. Those two could meet again. And, of course, Independence, their only loss this season came against Charlotte Catholic in a game where they were down a couple of players. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the broadcast. But DJ McFadden and his group, as we mentioned, battle-tested last year, a 24 seed, made the run all the way to the West Regional Final. And it just came out last week, Brian, by Max Preps, that the North Carolina 4A West voted as a top 10 bracket and region across all 50 states in the U.S. this year is one of the potential toughest roads to get to a state title.
Yeah, and I think that is absolutely accurate, if not a little bit too low. You know, I mean, when you look out here tonight, nobody's surprised if at the end of the season either of these two teams are state champions. There's probably 3 or 4 other teams just in the western half of the state you could say that about. So they're going to play several state championship games along the way to later on in December to get to the ultimate game.
This West region always loaded and no different this year when you think about what comes out of the Charlotte Metro each and every year. And, of course, surrounding counties when you think about Union County as well with the likes of Weddington, who was the number 2 seed in this West region, taking on Sun Valley tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as you see the captains at midfield getting set for the coin toss here at Huff High School in Cornelius, North Carolina.
Well, looks like Indy wins the toss. We're going to take the ball.
Brian, you talked about could this be the year for Huff to get it done? It's so many quality teams. You look over the last decade here from Huff High School. It's the same thing with Independence. Obviously, DJ McFadden, a guy that had the opportunity to play under legendary coach Tommy Knotts. He graduated from Independence back in 2007. I think it's really done a nice job of revamping the program and getting the excitement back at Independence.
He did. You know, we talked the other day about it because it's such a unique thing to go back and coach at your alma mater. There's obvious benefits to it, and the things that, the familiarity with some of the staff, some of the administration, even members of the community that were, so supportive of the program, when they were winning state championships every year. But he said that there's some drawbacks too, and he said the biggest one probably is the expectation that he has for the kids. He thinks sometimes that, he knows the experience he had there. He wants them to have the same experience. He knows how hard that they worked at it. So, that's one of the things he said he has to kind of walk a tightrope with from time to time.
And here come the Huskies. Huff, a program that was a part of the West Regional Final 2 years ago, falling to Grimsley, of course, last year going to the regional semifinal. 2 programs that are used to playing on the big stage, and 10-1 this year, and one of the most highly anticipated second-round matchups across all classifications in the entire state tonight.
Well, and to that, too, it's not just the teams that are used to being in these situations, it's the fan bases as well. Huff, I think they've been open probably about 15, 16 years. They've been excellent since they've opened, and they've always had great community support. And, of course, Independence, with the crowd they bring up from Mint Hill and the support that they have, these people have no problem coming out here in 40-degree weather with us tonight, Jared.
If you're at home, get your popcorn ready. This one's going to be a fun one tonight.
And the thing you saw right away, with Independence winning the toss, both teams defer to start the game.
Yep.
DJ wants the ball right now. Neither one of these teams believe in to kind of feeling around and easing their way into a game. I'd expect to see fireworks early in this one.
So the Huff Huskies will boot it away to start in this second-round matchup. Independence been dangerous on kick return this year. Jaden Jones and Sadat Grant are back deep for the Patriots.
Saw Jalen take one back about 90 yards for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Butler. If I'm Huff, I'm probably going to try to keep the ball away from him right now. We did talk a little bit about, just the amount of talent that's on the field on the sidelines, and we'll talk a little more. Huff special teams coach Ken Walter, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. and was a member of some of the most famous plays in NFL history. But now, man, they're lined up. We're ready to go.
Candler Happy will boot it away for Huff. A low skipping. Scooped up. And across the 20, that's where Independence will start things off. Returned by Sadat Grant.
Yeah, great coverage going down the field. Get the ball inside and in front. That's one thing you talk about on kickoffs. You don't want the ball to get outside of you, and you definitely don't want the ball to get behind you. So just keep that ball inside and in front, have everybody squeezed down to and ready to pursue.
Here's a look at the Patriots, some of their numbers this year. Of course, it starts with Jaden Jones on the ground, a guy averaging about 195 yards per night, facing one of the most stifling defenses he's seen this year. Justin Little, the starting quarterback for Independence, fakes the handoff, fires across, complete.
That's one thing you're going to see from Independence. You know, Huff knows coming into this game that you're going to have to stop number 2, Jaden Jones, running the football. Independence is going to try to use that as much as they can to their advantage. Little play action, quick throws, keep the ball out of Huff's hands.
Pickup of 3 on the catch by Brian Crowder, who Coach DJ McFadden calls the security blanket for Justin Little.
He is, man. That's the thing with Brian. He's such a great high school football player. Like, he goes in, he knows his role. He plays the game of football extremely hard.
They pitch it out. Jones, the ability to slip tackles, you're going to see that one all night long. And a fresh set of downs.
Independence goes with speed option. Big play for the DJ McFadden offense. Especially they feel they can get you outnumbered on the edge there because you have 2 great athletes, you know, one with the ball in his hands and one that you could pitch it to.
1st and 10 from the 35 for Justin Little and the Patriots. Hands it back off Jones, immediately met. Wow, blown up by Aiden Bell.
Aiden Bell, hello.
Welcome to the party.
And that's what Huff does. You got those 4 great big bodies up there on the defensive line. They brought an extra blitzer on that. Carmel boogie quick, but then it was Bell just getting in there playing a big hit on Jones.
No gain, 2nd and 10 on the 35-yard line for the Patriots. Little looking over the middle, fires incomplete.
Yeah, Huff just played a little zone there, kind of let those routes develop and keep everything in front of him. Receiver probably wants to sit down a little bit there and give the quarterback a target to put it on, you know, especially in zone. When you're playing against man-to-man, you want to run away from the defender. When you're playing zone, you want to find the hole and sit down in the windows.
Division I talent all over the field on both teams, especially this Huff defense.
Huff's bringing the
3rd and 10, and broken up. Aiden Bell again deflects it away.
Big start for Bell. Huff brought the blitz on this play right down the middle of the offense. Quick read to get the ball out, but Huff was ready for it. They knew that was going to be the quick read when they blitzed. Bell was all over that, already making a big impact on this game with a big hit and a pass defended.
This 4th down brought to you by NC Medicaid. For more people, get full health coverage with $4 max copays. Find out more at medicaid.nc.gov.
Going to want to watch the left edge here. Huff, I think, feels like they may be able to get a block this week.
High snap, it was close.
He was there. I think the flag's going to come out. I think we're going to have a roughing there.
Yeah, flag is out.
The punt is down at the Husky 45-yard line. Number 21.
You and I talked about it. That's where they thought they might have an advantage. And we may have a roughing flag here. We'll see what this is about.
And this boogie quick off the edge, and he's already blocked a couple of punts this year, and that's, you know, we're talking about Coach Walter and his experience, you know, playing in the NFL as long as he did. He really brings another aspect to special teams here, but again, he's just a little bit too over-aggressive. You love the kid trying to make a play there, but you want to make sure you got a little bit of composure there at the end too. If you're not going to get there, you got to come under control.
Retain possession with a first down after the
Wow. So Independence will retain possession and a fresh set of downs. Plus 15 yards. Big momentum swing there.
Right, first break of the game.
Handoff Jones to the outside. Bounces off one tackler.
Nice job by the Huff defense, just kind of stretching that thing down the line of scrimmage, allowing the linebackers, just to find the lane to run through and make the tackles, and make great tackles when they get there too. Jaden Jones is going to be a tough man to get on the ground. He runs hard, he's strong, and when he gets a seam, he gets some open space, he's going to be gone.
Jaden Jones, a guy that Coach McFadden says is only getting better. Little fires out into the flat. It's caught. And more. Here. Crowder, open space across the 10. And a big-time pickup for Brian Crowder.
Great setup here by Independence. You get the fade route from the outside receiver and then the out from the inside receiver. When the corner runs with the deep one, that opens up that underneath, and all he has to do is make one man miss. He had a great big play here. And this is one of the things Coach Baker talked about they really want to stay away from is the big plays.
First and goal, Patriots. Little handoff Jones trying to plunge his way up the middle.
Got a flag there on the side.
Pickup of a couple.
Well, that was somebody's probably lined up offside.
Number 16, Cameron Sear, and 54, Chris Hilliard made the tackle. We do have a flag.
Got Cameron Sear, Chris Hilliard in there on the tackle.
Illegal shift, offense, 5-yard penalty.
So it is an illegal shift on the offense, which will back it up 5 yards.
And those are those self-inflicted defensive plays. It's a focus thing. It's a thing that you know that they practice, you know that they rep it. It's just something you got to make sure you're focused until the ball is snapped.
So first and goal from the 15 now for the Independence Patriots. Kendall Lewis and Brian Hales here with you on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Second round action here in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, 4A West region. Handoff up the middle, immediately met. And the Huskies get in there and wrap Jones up.
And again, nice job up front, by Bostic and Hilliard and Menor and Sear. Again, tying up that offensive line and allowing these guys, in this case it was Conover, make a play in the backfield that time.
Jaden Jones, a kid that coming into this one tonight had over 2,100 yards rushing, 27 touchdowns on the year for Independence. As we mentioned, averaging 195 yards on the ground a night. One of the best backs in the state. They faked the handoff to him. This one complete on second and goal.
It's kind of soft coverage for Huff out there on the side. They had the little hitch route, high percentage throw. I'm sure Justin wished he had gotten that throw up a little bit so he could run with it. But again, you take the completion.
It was on the 13-yard line, 3 yards on the best.
If you always take a profit, you never go broke.
Third and goal from the 13 now, the 3-yard catch for Prince Young. Little looking across the middle, caught and wrapped up by Linton and pushed back. Morgan Linton getting in there, a guy that had 2 picks and a forced fumble a week ago in Huff's first playoff game.
The gain is 5 yards. So
this will make it 4th
for Independence.
And goal from the 8, and the field goal team is out for Independence. Lyric Copera, soccer player, clean snap, and he boots it right through.
Gotta love that for your Independence. Take that first possession of the game. Not only do you get points, but I think even more important than the points is the confidence that goes along with moving the ball down the field against a great Huff defense.
I am Bruno Hinojosa, and I live in Asheville. I work in construction, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. I went to their website, applied, and got covered. Doctor visits, yearly checkups, and even emergency care if I need it. Being a business owner can be stressful at times, but knowing that I got covered, it just takes weight off my shoulders. And I can get the care that I need when I need it at low or no cost. And it's one less thing I need to worry about now.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
So Independence gets on the board first thanks to a 25-yard field goal attempt by Lyric Copero, who boots it right through the uprights for Independence. And, of course, Huff with that roughing the punter situation that Independence was able to retain possession and take advantage. And they strike first here in our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Kendall Lewis, Brian Hales here with you. And Lyric Copero will get set to boot it away for the Patriots of Independence.
You know, we had said when it happened, too, the first big break of the game goes to Independence. It's one thing to get a break. It's another thing to take advantage of that break once it happens. And, again, I know, Independence and the staff are real happy that they're able to go down and get those points.
This one deep. Trying to scamper just across the 10. Gets met at the 15. Good coverage by Independence there.
Great effort. And that's so much of special teams. It's just, it really is I don't want to. You know, I want to sprint down the field. I want to run through blocks. And I want to be under control enough to make a tackle also.
It's Jaden White on the return for Huff. DJ McFadden talked about this. Special teams could be the difference maker in this game tonight. Of course, cold and chilly. Temperatures down in the 30s here in Cornelius this evening. Just going to look at some of the stats for Huff this year. Balanced rushing and passing attack from the Huskies and Deshaun Baker this year.
Right. And, when you look at those stats, we've got almost 1,000 more yards passing. The one thing that we talk about as coaches about, wanting to be balanced. Balance doesn't necessarily mean it's 50-50. Balance means, you can run it when they know you're going to run it. You can throw it when they know you have to throw it, also. And that's the thing with Huff. I mean, it's that double-edged sword. They can run the ball. They got several guys they can hand it to, especially Funderburk and Enciso.
Get your first look at the Huff offense, and it's a carry up the middle. Jason Enciso, who will call his name quite a bit tonight. A guy that they will use a little bit of everywhere. This time just powers his way up the middle for a nice pickup on first down.
And, I mean, if I'm Huff, I have no problem running up the middle behind my Shrine Bowl center, Keondae Marsh.
Marsh, the South Carolina State. As Blakeney looking to air this one out. Deep ball, it's hauled in. Who else? Tyron Evans to the crib.
Well, I mean, when you have that much time to sit back and let an athlete like Tyron Evans run down the field and just let that ball air out.
They call him 6'3", and he used every bit of it right there.
He sure did. Wow, what an answer by Huff. They got the crowd energized again here. Independence, you just got to buckle your helmets back up, get ready to go back on offense now. But wow, what a big blow for Huff.
How about that? 2 plays, and Huff on the board, and a 7-3 lead is happy. Boots the extra point through.
And that's the thing when you're a balanced offense like that with Huff, when you have the ability to run the ball with Enciso and Funderburk, but then you've got these guys on the outside like Evans and Sutton and Brady you could throw it to. Independence, you really got to be smart about how you're playing defense. You got to, I think, mix it up a little bit. You got to play a little bit of zone, a little bit of man, and try to confuse Huff a little bit. But I think trying to match up man for man with them, it's going to be a tall task tonight.
Trey Blakeney, the quarterback, airing it deep into the wind, and Evans with the touchdown catch for the Huskies. And we're not even just barely over the midway point of the first quarter. And fireworks here in Cornelius.
You know, happy getting to take over the kicking duties this year. You know, no big shoes to fill there. Only one of the greatest kickers to ever come out of North Carolina, national record holder Nolan Hough, who's down at Clemson now, handles some kicking duties for the Tigers.
Happy with a low boomer, and this one through the end zone, and that's into the wind, Coach Hales.
I think that is a very well replaced.
That wind into the face of Happy on that kick there. And I tell you what, wind is going to be a factor, especially for kickers tonight. We've seen some gusts 20-plus mile an hour since we've been here this evening.
You know, to have a kicker like that, and like you said, into the wind, to be able to put it in the end zone, that's such a huge weapon in high school, because now you're having to, you know, these teams have to drive 80 yards. That's hard to do. Try to put together 10, 12-play drives. Unless Huff, you know, you could go 2 plays and go about 85 yards.
Independence back on offense. Little with the handoff to the outside. Jones looking for space and wrapped up quickly. Folks, it is 7-3. We'll get that scoreboard corrected here in just a moment.
See, Independence trying to go fast, trying to keep Huff guessing. You know, what you do, you go through a little bit of a false snap count, try to get Huff to show their hand here a little bit, maybe something coverage-wise, see if they're trying to blitz, and then make a call based on what you see.
2nd and 10. Little, he'll tuck it and go. Little showing off the legs. And picks up enough for the first down and move the sticks for the Patriots.
That just brings that other element to the game. You know, a quarterback that can pull it down, and it was a good pass rush, but the pass rush got a little bit deeper than he did, so he's able to just kind of step up through the line, get a lot of space, big play.
Quick handoff, looking for Jones up the middle.
Everybody's looking for Jones on that one.
That's true.
They found him.
His ability, and we talked about it with Coach McFadden earlier this week, the ability to just slip off tackles. Guy that holds offers from Liberty, JMU, Troy, and Campbell right now, and those Power Fives are starting to show more and more interest.
Right, and it's, you know, it's just such a funny game right now, you know, talking about the recruiting game and trying to get kids recruited with the transfer portal and all those things, and that's a conversation we can have at another time, because that's a long conversation.
It certainly made it that much more difficult for high school kids nowadays to get recruited. I feel like especially for quarterbacks, we had that conversation as well.
You know, the third medium situation here, so you feel good with the Jade Jones, even to be able to hand the ball off here. You know, because you look at one side of the field where you got Samari Matthews, you got to think there's not going to be a lot to be able to throw to wherever he's located. 5-star cornerback for Huff.
Little fires complete to Sadat Grant. On 3rd and 6, he's going to be short of the marker.
Nice call there. You know, you see one of those medium yard situations. A lot of people want to run that route past the sticks, but you could be just as effective throwing it short as long as you hit that receiver on the run and allow him to pick it up.
That's another first down brought to you by 988lifeline.org. Call, text, or chat 988-24/7. Let's get through it together. Quickly, a handoff Jones. He'll spin across the 40. And a nice pickup on first down for Jaden Jones.
And Independence is doing such a great job of mixing things up right now. That time, instead of the dummy snap count, they snapped it right away on the first down, just like now before Huff could get lined up.
And that time they were waiting for it. Right back to Jones.
And this is the big chess match tonight, you know, or one of the big chess matches is DJ McFadden against Chachi Sullivan, defensive coordinator for Huff.
Also the 37-yard line.
You know, because just as much as Independence is trying to change it up by formation, by snap count, Huff's changing things up. Like I said earlier, but a little bit of zone, a little bit of man, a little 4-man front here, a little 5, you know.
2nd 10 from the Huff 37. Little pulls it back, fires complete. And that time connects with Wisdom Whipper Daniel on the catch, his first catch of the night.
And that's a sign of a mature senior quarterback that's been through a bunch of big games already. And Huff played soft coverage. He just took the easy completion, allowed his receiver to run upfield a little bit, not forcing anything.
3-year starter is Justin Little for the Patriots of Independence. As Coach McFadden said, he has been steady since his sophomore year. And this one looking over the middle, it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, he had crossing routes there. He had guys open, but it's kind of tough to get the ball when you have Cameron Sear and Edward Conover breathing down your neck in the backfield. It's just, and that's good complementary defense. You have good coverage, you have good pass rush. 4th and long here. See Independence go for it. It's kind of that no man's land where it's too far for a field goal, but you don't want to punt it because you really don't gain that much from a punt.
Need to get to the 27 to move the sticks. Little dumps it off on a screen pass to Jones. Jones scampers. Does he have enough? It's close.
A little bit short.
Just short of the marker.
You like the call there because you're thinking there's a good chance we're going to get a blitz. You love throwing screens against a blitz. You're getting the ball in the hands of your most explosive player. Huff their defense was just a little bit better than Independence's offense on that play. And Huff takes over now.
But you're right. You got to love the play call there from Independence. Unfortunately, Jones just short of the marker, and Huff will take over at their own 29-yard line with 2:16 to go in the first quarter. Blakeney hands this one off up the middle, and Independence all over that one. A sea of white jerseys.
Looks like Malachi Anselm.
Well, Independence, without a couple of their top defensive cogs tonight, including Dallas Brannon, who averages 13 tackles a game, is the heart and soul of this team, is out with injury for Independence. And Huff goes up the middle. That time it's Blakeney up the middle to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and that's another great matchup between the quarterbacks tonight. With Justin and with Trey Blakeney, again, Trey and other seniors, but putting up big numbers all year long. He's been making plays in the air and on the ground with his feet also. There's so much to defend when you're playing Huff with all these great receivers, the great running backs, quarterback who could pull it down and run, and like I said, this massive offensive line.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line now. Clock ticking down, just over a minute to play first quarter. Blakeney, handoff. This is Jamison Funderburk. Big, powerful back. Trucks his way for a nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, nice combination, personnel grouping that Coach Baker put there, because you got, the big hammer back there. Just, Funderburk coming at 6'2", 220. Then you got Sean Brady out there, one of your top receivers. He's in the backfield as well.
And Funderburk, outstanding baseball player here at Huff High School as well. Mike could play both sports in college. Handoff, Funderburk, big pickup as he trucks his way forward again. Move the sticks for the Huskies.
Watching Funderburk run the ball, he reminds me so much of a kid that played at Mallard Creek a few years back by the name of Jalen Samuels. Jalen Samuels went on to a big career at NC State with the Steelers.
Another first down. This time they'll go Enciso on the carry. Enciso makes one man miss and just keeps the legs churning.
There's so much depth. But, man, you talk about that Jaden Samuels. His senior year scored 54 touchdowns. We, unfortunately, got to see him in person twice that year. It's just one of the absolute best seasons from a high school football player in North Carolina.
And you nailed it. An outstanding career at NC State. Their Swiss Army knife. And obviously moving on to play in the NFL as well. We've got a Patriot shaking up. This is Malachi Solomon, who will walk it off the field for Independence.
And I think Malachi's a kid who's so representative of what you see from Independence, what you see from those kids around Mint Hill. He's in there playing linebacker. He's going to play some D-line as well. He's 5'8", 180 pounds. And he's in there battling out with those big guys. And trust me, he makes his fair share of plays.
First and 10 from the Independence 28. This one thrown out in the flat. It's Sean Brady. Brady looking for space. Brady to the end zone. And a touchdown, Huskies.
Just methodical work by Huff going down the field. It's just run game, play action, and they're just doing really everything they want right now. Coach Baker's calling a heck of a game on the offensive side.
The Gardner-Webb commit, Sean Brady, who Coach Baker said just makes people miss, and you see it on display right there. 28 yards and another Huff touchdown.
And it's just, that's what makes it so tough when you have a great run game, you have backs like that it doesn't take much, and this defense just has to commit to the run, and have to commit to the run to slip a Brady out like that. And not even that, but you have two great blocks downfield also.
Extra point good, and 14 unanswered points from the Huff Huskies, and they take a 14-3 lead on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week here in the West Region second round.
And it says so much. That play, I think, says so much about Coach Baker and his staff because, again, you have all these talented kids out here. You've got these receivers with these offers and commitments all over the place. You can see a lot of kids like, look, if I'm, get me the ball, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to catch the ball. These guys are blocking downfield, and once you have receivers blocking downfield, again, if that O-line does a great job blocking, you're probably going to get at least 6 yards. You get receivers downfield blocking like that, now you got a chance to get 6 points on that play. And then it just feeds one, one feeds the other. And again, it's just a great system and it's just a great program Coach Baker has in place. Like I said, to have talented kids like that willing to be part of the bigger picture, to be, great teammates. And that goes to what he was saying earlier, when we talked to him this week. This team, sure, it's talented like a lot of teams here have been, but he said this team, it is about team. And it's one thing he's seen them, really grow and mature in the short time he's been the head coach here.
He mentioned receivers are going to block here at Huff. If not, they won't get the ball thrown their way.
That's right. No block, no rock.
Coach Baker was adamant on our call about that factor, and just outstanding downfield blocking, a 14-3 lead.
Well, I came up and I watched these guys practice on Tuesday, and that mentality right there, because they know they're a good football team. They know they're good football players. But to see them compete against each other, because they know, a lot of times, and this week is not one of those cases, but there's a lot of weeks where they're going to, the most competition they're going to get is from Monday through Thursday. So for them, to watch them compete, even here in November the way they were, and it's physical and they're talking to each other, and it's such a great vibe they have up here. Kids have a great time. The coaches are having a great time. It looks like Huff's just going to play some base defense here. Going to let their defensive line do their work. And again, they do. And again, it's the 4D linemen holding up the Independence offensive linemen, and linebackers just free to run to the football.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Huff with 14 unanswered points. They lead at 14-3 here in the West Region of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A state playoffs. It's 14-3 as we head to the second quarter between Huff and Independence on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. This is, folks, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A West second round action. And how about 14 unanswered points? Independence capitalized on the first drive, put some points on the board. 2nd and 8 now from their own 21, and Little trying to go deep. And broken up
was gonna come out
by Linton, and I believe pass interference.
Yeah, he had his hands kind of around his waist there.
And we have a flag.
Flag is down.
Yeah, that's a tough one for the striped shirts to miss. But, I mean, give credit to the Independence offensive line there. It does a great job. Allows the receiver to get downfield, allows Justin to kind of step up into the pocket.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
This will move it up to the 36
Interference call against the
for the Patriots.
forward 15 yards for Independence to the Patriot 36.
You try to go to Sadat Grant on that, 20 catches on the year, but he averaged 24, almost 25 yards on those 20 catches. So one of the many big play weapons for the Patriots.
1st and 10 from the 36.
Penalty flag.
And movement, there comes a flag in.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
And it's against Huff. So back-to-back penalties, Coach Hales, against the Huskies.
And again,
5 yards.
if you're Independence, obviously you are so appreciative of the help they're giving you. Because, again, we talked earlier about when Independence got the penalty down here in the red zone about that self-inflicted defense. Well, here, if you're Huff, it's self-inflicted off. You're just giving them 5 yards.
This will make it 1st and 5 from the 41. Little on the
again.
keep. Takes it up the left side. He's got enough.
Quarterback Justin Little keeps his thumb.
And as much as you want to have those big plays if you're Independence, if you put together these drives, where you're picking up 5 and 6 yards at a time, because again, every snap that you take is a snap that Huff offense doesn't take. So again, they're going to hand it to Jones here.
Jones bounces off one tackler. And a nice pickup on 1st down again.
Yeah, it looked like you got about 7 that time. And again, that there's going to be some give and take. It's kind of like you got to take some of the L's that are going to come along with it. You're going to get thrown for a loss. You may have no gain or a 1-yard gain because Huff is such a good defense. But again, to stay patient, to stay with it, a great player by Jones is going to break some. He's going to make some breaks.
I asked Coach McFadden what makes this kid so special. He just got that thing. We let him do his thing out there. We're seeing that right now.
And sometimes the best coaching is just letting kids be themselves.
On 2nd and 3, Little rolling out to his left, just throws it away.
Yeah, good idea there by Independence. Just a design rollout. If you want these quarterbacks to throw for different, we'll call launching points. Where you want to get them on the run a little bit. When you're playing a good pass rush like this, you want to make that quarterback a little bit harder to find. So just kind of roll in the pocket there. But great coverage by Huff down the field. There's nowhere to go with it. But again, you see the maturity of a senior. Instead of doing something foolish with it, just throws it away because it's still 3rd and 3. See, so now, they get a look at the Huff defense. They want to make a call based on that. Well, Huff may be playing some games as well, showing something, knowing that they're going to change it, and they may run something different.
It's a keeper again for Little, and he's got enough to move the sticks. That'll be another 988lifeline.org.
No, they're marking him short.
Maybe just short.
Yeah, it looks like by about a step.
Inches.
So I think, right now you're looking to the right side of that Independence offensive line with number 71, Nori White, 6'6", 320-pound sophomore.
And a timeout.
And the first timeout called by the Huskies in the game.
I tell you, when you see Nori White up close and personal, he looks like one of those University of Alabama offensive linemen. Just a great big athlete. That's at 6'6", 320, and he's just in 10th grade.
Folks, this is the NC Medicaid 4th down. More people get full health care coverage with $4 max copays. Again, find out more at medicaid.nc.gov. This is a 4th and 1 situation for Independence. Looked like going back to that previous play, we thought it might be enough for the first down. They marked him a yard short. And now you're in an interesting spot, Coach Hales. If you're Independence here, you've had a nice drive. Again, Huff with back-to-back penalties helped some things out. But we've seen a couple of nice runs from Jaden Jones and as well as Justin Little.
Right, so, you're sitting here at the 42-yard line. Most likely if you punt it, it's probably going to go into the end zone. So you're only looking at about a 20-yard change of field position, whereas, the short yardage, you go for it. Again, the risk here, if you don't get it, Huff's going to get the ball almost at midfield.
That's right.
Yep. But again, when you look at Independence, who has the ball in his hands on every play? Yep. Quarterback does, okay? So, you try to use that. We've seen them run some speed option here, some quarterback lead.
And now they're going to bring the chain gang out.
Yeah, he's a little bit short. Now, DJ McFadden, I will tell you, DJ McFadden is a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. I've seen them line up in a little tush-push look. I would not be surprised to see a little tush-push out of the Patriots here. You might see them sprint out of the huddle, just get lined up real fast to try to catch up a little bit off guard with this. But, you talk about going into the teeth of the defense here. You're looking at Hilliard at 270, Mentor at 250, Bostic a 250-pounder.
4th and inches coming up for Independence. Handoff up the middle. Is he short?
I don't know. It's going to be the spot, As cliche as it is, it's about the spot.
They're going to have to they're going to have to measure this too, it looks like.
Yeah,
short, they say. Wow, what a stand by the Husky defense.
Right, just a little bit surprised to see the Patriots get to the shotgun there because, that shotgun snap, you're taking the ball 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and you're trying to run downhill. Again, maybe trying to influence some of their defenders a little bit, but, again, great stand by Huff. Now you're giving the ball back. Yeah, Keondae Marsh getting ready to put his hands on it, get the ball back to Blakeney. And, Coach Baker you talk about a coach that loves and appreciates his quarterback. Gives Trey Blakeney so much input into the game plan.
So short field. Little trickery here. Blakeney winding up, looking down the sideline. And flags come in.
Yeah, they got the pass interference down here.
Trying to connect with.
And I think they just missed it. I think the white hat back there is trying to decide whether or not to throw the flag for roughing the passer. Bryce Lee with a big hit on Blakeney. But, really, flea flicker like that, pretty good coverage by Independence. He just, he got his arm up around the shoulders and, and again, when it's that obvious, these referees are going to get you every time.
Yeah, trying to hook up with Jason Enciso downfield.
Yeah, you see the left arm just, basically wrapped around his shoulder. But, the beauty of the high school game from a defensive standpoint is a penalty like that's still only 15 yards. If that's an NFL, the ball's going to be down here at the 20. Sometimes it might be a little bit better to take the 15-yard penalty versus give up the 30, 40-yard gain.
Little toss back this time. Trucking his way for extra yardage, Sean Brady, who they put in motion. Guy that's heading to play at Gardner Webb, and that's a 988lifeline.org first down.
And that's something Coach Baker said. They don't mind, not just throwing the ball to him, but also handing the ball to him also. That's kind of a jet sweep where now the style is to kind of quarterback to push it forward. So something, unfortunate were to happen, it's an incompletion. But, it's basically a run play. An empty backfield.
1st and 10.
Now they'll bring Sean back.
From the Independence 30. Blakeney takes the snap. Blakeney, he'll tuck this one and go. Blakeney, it's across the 25, about the 23-yard line. Nice little pickup of 7 yards there by the quarterback.
Right, so, they bring, they start in the empty backfield. They bring Brady back in motion, kind of get some attention back there. Independence is the guy they game plan for. You swing him out and just kind of tie up those linebackers' eyes. You have Blake to carry the ball.
Trying to connect with Brady. This one overthrown and incomplete.
Incomplete pass, number 7, Sean Brady, the intended
Trey
receiver.
Blakeney, the quarterback, which an Austin Peay signee, just a student of the game. Coach Deshaun Baker told us yesterday.
Yeah, so, most teams, I think, probably offensive coordinators are going to script their first 10 or first 12 plays and formations and that they're going to use in the game, and you kind of practice that throughout the week. Let's give to Brady again.
Brady trying to tiptoe the sideline. Brady bounces off one tackler, picks up a few more.
Cromartie in on the tackle. Cromartie playing in the place of Dallas Brandon, like we said, is out this evening.
Yeah, and this Independence defense, Coach, they lost Nick Reddish, another kid that's got some Power 5 interest in week 2. It's been incredible. A shutout of Mount Tabor, 44-0 in their first round win. But to do what this defense has been able to do all season long, battling injuries, is not too many defenses in the state that could recover with some of the injuries that they've lost.
And again, that's a tribute, to what Independence does and kind of how they treat their kids that, expect to play. You're not here to be a backup. You're not here to just wear a uniform. You're going to come in and work as a starter. So, even if you are that number 2 guy and injury happens, we all talk about, you're one play away. These next guys are ready to step up like Cromartie is tonight. But yeah, so get back to to Huff and their script. They'll do a 10-play script, but Coach Baker allows Trey Blakely to give him 5 of those plays each week.
Here's Anciso, little sidestep. Anciso stays on his feet and ushered out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup for Jason Anciso.
But, and allow Blakely to do that. That says so much. That does so much for a quarterback. In the confidence, to know that your coach trusts you, believes in you that much. But, for the coach as well to know that, just that give and take, that relationship you develop. And I'm sure there's times Blakely's come off the field and told Coach Baker.
Your second goal. Blakeney plunges into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's just rely on that big offensive line. Let those guys just get a body on a body. And Ciso, kind of playing, as an offensive lineman there, playing as a wing. But they bring Deontay Berry around. Why not bring another 285 pounds to that side and just, and again, hand it off to these great running backs.
And on for the point after is Candler Happy. Snap's good. Hold is good, and it's up and through. 21 unanswered points for the Huff Huskies, and they lead at 21-3 on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. We'll be right back after these messages.
NC Medicaid is for people just like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Child care teachers. Full healthcare coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
Get full healthcare coverage at low cost, no monthly fees, and $4 max copays. NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
And we come back to you at Huff High School tonight. Second round action between the Huskies and the Patriots of Independence here in the West region. You mentioned Independence got on the board first if you're just tuning in, but Huff 21 unanswered points and a 2-yard touchdown run by the quarterback Trey Blakeney who is having an incredible night so far through the air and with his legs.
Yeah, just as efficient as could be. They're not finding themselves in lost yardage situations. They're not behind the sticks, anything like that. Very minimal as far as penalties so far. I'm not sure that they have an offensive penalty, in fact. Talking about Huff. And when you have a good football team that doesn't beat itself, that just takes you to a whole different level.
Short return, and Huff is there.
Yeah, Conover.
Jaden Jones on the short return. He's a guy that is an absolute blur. But Huff with excellent coverage that time. And 8:03 to go, second quarter. And the Independence offense, you hate to say it, with this much time left in the first half, Coach Hales, but really got to have points on this drive right here. This is almost a do-or-die drive.
Yeah, I think so. Huff's playing with all the confidence in the world. They're playing, like we say, they're playing downhill. They're playing with momentum behind their back. You've got to do something as Independence to kind of stem the tide of that. Whether it's a big Jones run, whether it's, a play action or Little gets out on the edge, something like that. You need something big to happen. You need to create some excitement on your side. As you look on that sideline right now, it probably feels a little bit colder now, over there than it did, 35, 40 minutes ago.
Temperatures down in the 30s. It is the coldest night of the year so far.
It is second and 5.
With a wind chill. He's got it down as well. This one complete and a big hit. Ball pops loose, picked up. And I believe they're going to blow the play dead.
I think so. Is that Rainier out there?
Pass intended for number 1, Brian Crowder.
Wow.
Yeah, they're big, but they're fast.
Second down and 6. Coming up from the Independence.
There you go, first down. And again, good. Good. We need little breaks like this. We need 5 yards here and there. Go ahead, allow convert the third down for us. Convert the short yardage situation for us.
That's been really the only Achilles heel for Huff so far. We saw a couple of penalties last drive, and then of course you had the roughing the punter on the first drive that Independence was able to capitalize and put points on the board first. So 1st and 10 from the 31 now for Justin Little and the Patriots.
Here comes the blitz.
It's a handoff. Jones trying to get to the outside and just can't turn the corner on that stingy Huff defense.
Yeah, you see the safety start creeping up a little bit early there. Kind of indicates something's getting ready to happen with the linebacker. And linebacker just blitzed right through where they were running the ball with Jones.
Clock ticks down. Just over 6 minutes to play first half.
I think the other thing you mentioned, I think Independence would be really happy to have a 6-minute drive here. But, like you said, points is so important right now.
On 2nd 10, Little looking.
Yeah, a little miscommunication. Justo was expecting one route, and receiver ran a different route. You don't want to say it was the wrong route because you don't know. We don't know what the play call was. Could have been the right route, but either way, definitely on different pages there.
He's looking for Wisdom Whipper Daniel, who made a catch early on for a nice game for Independence.
What a luxury right now for Huff to have this great defensive line, third and long, where you feel pretty good that those 4 are going to generate a pass rush. Or you could roll the dice. You could send some extra people on a blitz knowing that you have great defensive backs and great coverage there also.
Little trying to tuck it, go, and immediately wrapped up and thrown down.
Yeah, it was almost like they were using Bell as a spy there. They allowed the 4 D linemen to rush, and then once Justin stepped up.
That's a loss on the play, and this will bring up 4th and 12. Punt time for the Patriots.
Got to watch out for Boogie Quick coming off the left side here again.
Along with number 1, Morgan Lansdowne.
Bad
snap over the head of
Kick
Copera.
that out of the end zone, kid. Kick it out of the end zone. Oh, not that direction.
Wow. And this one
rolls
out of play.
Yeah, so, probably pretty much the last thing you wanted to have happen, if you're Independence Patriots. Just you get the high snap here, but normally what you tell your punter in this situation is just kick that ball out of the back of the end zone. That way you're only going to give up the 2 points. You get to push, you get the free kick, you make them defend the whole field, as opposed to, here we are, we're 4 yards short of the red zone.
And Copera, you take a look, able to get the punt off. And now you're at least going to make Huff a very short field, but make them work for it a little bit, right?
That's the goal.
The Huff will take over from the Independence 24.
And Independence isn't a big blitz group. Again, they're one that they're just going to kind of let the offense kind of develop in front of them, rally up and tackle. The old, bend but don't break. But
Ciso looking for a seam, finds it, and plunges to about the 15. That's a 9-yard pickup for Jason and Ciso.
I believe the proper term would be the offensive line is asserting themselves, because they just took the entire right side of the Independence defensive line and pushed them over here to the left side.
Blakeney with time. Blakeney will tuck and go. Blakeney still on his feet. And wrapped up at about the 5-yard line.
Bryce Lofton coming in to make a tackle.
At the 6-yard line. First and goal, Huskies at the Independence 6.
First and goal for the Huskies here on the 6-yard line, trying to punch it in again with just under 4.5 left to play in the first half.
Right, there's no rush. There's 4 minutes, so you're not in a rush to try to get this one in right before the half.
Handoff, Funderburg.
Right there at the goal line. Yeah, they're going to mark him a little bit short.
Number 0 carries this time for Huff.
But again, with that big offense, like I said, 305-pound man average, from tackle to tackle, just to be able to lean on those guys and just file in behind them.
As we mentioned, they average folks, 305 across the front. Jumbo package of pure definition.
No doubt.
And they hand it off up the middle and punch it in again.
Yeah, and then, right behind Keondae Marsh. And what, the thing with a guy like Keondae, it's not often you get the offensive lineman is like the voice, the soul, the heartbeat, the everything with this team. Being out of practice the other day, you could hear him all over the field. It is a kid that it's so obvious that he just loves to play football. He loves his teammates. And again, you just get that feeling being around this crew that it's almost like the coaches and players are, not on the same level. There's certainly that big respect factor there from coach to player and player to coach, but they push each other. They make each other better. A lot of times you get players kind of look at coaches as the enemy in a lot of cases, but you don't see that at all with these guys. They take coaching very well, and it allows the Huff coaches to really push them in practice to make them better.
And a missed extra point that time, wide left. 27 unanswered points for the Huskies of Huff as they continue to increase their lead here late in the first half on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Kendall Lewis, Brian Hills here with you.
Huff is looking 100% like a state championship football team right here tonight. It's one of those things when you have a great team that's playing great, there's not a lot of things Independence can do. You can have some great play calls and things like that, but, one of the things they say, it's not X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. And just Huff is they have so much, on this roster. They've got a good mix. I think they've got, 21, 22 seniors, Coach said, but just a lot of great young talent also.
This one gets up into the wing, comes down at about the 5. Taken by Jaden Jones, looking for the outside. Jones trying to tiptoe down the sideline, gets ushered out of bounds just across the 30.
Yeah, you said a couple possessions ago he's like a blur out there. He picked that ball up at the 5. He's across the 30 in no time. And that's the thing, Huff, and watching them, that's where their focus is defensively this week, is to, is take number 2 away. And, credit to, to Coach Sullivan and their staff over there. The kids have followed the game plan. I'd say they've followed the game plan pretty much to a T tonight.
So Independence will take over with 3:33 left in the second quarter from the 30-yard line. Little handoff Jones. He's pushed back. Big hit in the backfield.
Cameron Sear, that was, really he was their big play guy along the defensive line this year. 41 total tackles, but of those 41 tackles, 18 tackles for losses, he had 14 and a half sacks.
A loss of 2 makes it 2nd and 12. Well, the Patriots with 3 minutes left in the second quarter here at Huff High School. Independence won the toss. They wanted the football first. They put points on the board on their opening drive, but 27 unanswered since. Little sacked in the backfield. Wow.
Conover.
Edward Conover gets in there and just pummels Justin Little.
The whole passer. You see Cameron Sear on the right end, gets the rush up the field, forces Justin to step up, and there's Conover and the rest of the crew. You got Conover in there, you got Bostic hanging around. It's just wave at. They're like shark's teeth. Like one comes out, next one just goes right into his place.
Huff's only loss came in week 1 against a South Carolina power in Northwestern out of Rock Hill. A game in which they had a 21-point lead in to start the 4th quarter, and this one overthrown and incomplete on 3rd down. And punt team comes out.
Yeah, 3rd and 17 there. Not a lot you can really do with that. So now here, if you're Independence, you had the bad snap last time, so you're kind of holding your breath. But like I said, you got Mookie Quick over here on the left side, who I think had the opportunity to block the punt that he got the roughing call on. But it looks like Independence kind of tightened up their formation here.
Another high snap for Copera, and Huff nearly got there. He got it off.
I'm telling you, I think it looked like he was right there. I think he could have blocked that.
And it got just across the 45. It'll be down at about the 46-yard line. That's where Huff will take over in Independence territory and a chance to strike again right here before the half.
Right, and this is the measure of a great team right here. Are they content right here, 27-3, to kind of play around with a minute 50, or they take this as an opportunity? Hey, we're going to be in this situation maybe next week, the week after that. Let's work on really executing here. Let's be sharp with our routes. Make sure we get great pass protection.
And Ciso on the carry up the middle.
Yeah, just started off with the run here right down the middle.
Jason and Ciso carries on first down.
Jason and Ciso.
31 to Sean Wilkes.
Don't forget, too, with Independence winning the toss, they took the ball to start the game. Huff's going to get the ball right back when we come back after halftime, too. So that's that big kind of, that wraparound that Coach Belichick used to talk about all the time. But getting that last score of the half and then getting the ball to start the second half, the potential put up 14 points without the other team seeing the ball.
On 2nd and 5, Blakeney airing it out, looking for the end zone. And just incomplete. Looking for a Shad Wynn, his intended target. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
It looked like Lofton and Carr were back there.
3rd down at 5 with 1:11.
Look for Bryce Lee to get a pass rush here.
And the Patriots jumps off sides.
If you're a fan of offensive and defensive line play, you might see Bryce Lee, number 9, the defensive lineman for Independence, who's the Shrine Bowl, selected to play in the North Carolina Shrine Bowl, where you get, 44 of the best players in North Carolina matched up against Keondae Marsh, the center for Huff, who's also been selected to play in the Shrine Bowl this year. You match up with 2 of the best players in the state right here in the middle of the field.
And that's a first down. Brought to you by Building, Heating, and Cooling for the Huskies. 1st and 10 at the Independence 36.
You know, and I think if you're Huff, you're not in a situation where you feel like you have to throw the ball.
They get it out to Enciso. Enciso still on his feet. Gets across the 20, and he's ushered out of bounds.
You know, even that, it's a pass play, but when you look at it, I mean, there's no reads, there's no drop back, it's play action. And you already had the two receivers on the outside were already blocking, which they could do because the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. They could block. They could go ahead and engage the defender. So really, it's kind of like a long handoff or a long toss play.
Coach Baker talked a lot about Enciso's ability to catch it out of the backfield and churn it upfield for yardage. And we see it right there. And timeout with 46.5 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. And we'll keep it right here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Here's a look at the playoff bracket and what is to come next Friday night. Winner of this one will get the winner of the Pioneers of Watauga and or Mallard Creek, who is the 13th seed here in the West region. Mallard Creek, a nice season. Of course, Huff winning the Queen City 3A, 4A split conference and beating Mallard Creek in the regular season, but those two could meet possibly again next Friday night.
Yeah, that would be the first time that Huff and Mallard Creek have gotten together in the playoffs. There have been just some classic battles between those two schools, you know, especially in November. Yeah, empty backfield here again. So they motioned Sean in. Again, a little eye candy, a little play action.
Blakeney rolling. Blakeney fires. And incomplete, looking for a Sean win.
Yeah, and again, no rush, no pressure here. First down. You know, let's kind of play with our formation here a little bit. Let's see if we can get Independence to cross some wires. You know, if it's there, great. If it's not, you know, go ahead, throw it away.
39.7 ticks exactly left on the game clock here at Huff.
Look, one time out here for Huff, you kind of got to be a little bit careful, you know, because a completion inbound, something like, you know, or a run play, you're going to have to use that timeout. And if it's short, you know, you're not going to have an opportunity after that to ground it.
They fake the handoff, and
Enciso
Blakeney over the middle and hauled in.
6-3.
Another touchdown catch for Tyron Evans. His second of the night. And Huff increases their lead, make it 33 unanswered points.
6-3 for 6. Yeah, and again, it's the run game that set everything up. You know, just flashing Enciso across his face like that forces those linebackers to step up a little bit, and it opens up that area behind them. And then again, just a nice combination of routes there, you know, to get Evans open. And again, those completions in the middle of the field. I mean, that's a quarterback's dream.
Bobbled snap. And unfortunately, that's the second PAT in a row for Huff that they've been unable.
You know, and as much as you hate that, and I know that it's going to drive Coach Walter completely crazy, you know, with the special teams. But when you're Coach Baker, you look at that almost like, at least I have something to coach here and get on, you know, about when we go in here at halftime. Because, I mean, everything's really gone Huff's way here tonight. I think that's, you know, and that's what they, you know, we're talking about, just it's the talent, but it's just seeing them play together. You know, mention the receivers blocking downfield for each other. You know, defensive line be willing just to eat up blocks and allow linebackers to run and make the plays. You know, and it's just such a balancing act as a coach, you know, to make sure that these guys are getting the ball enough times, to make sure they're being put in opportunities to make plays.
33-3. Just a burst since Independence put those 3 points on the board first from the Huff Huskies. As you mentioned it, Coach Hales, they look everything like a state championship team here tonight. Of course, looking to continue that if they can cap it off tonight. Still plenty of football left to be played, but just so dynamic. Winning the battle in the trenches, and we mentioned it, so much depth coming into this one tonight.
And we're having his kick into the end zone.
Right, and again, here's Happy this time. This is a kid that a year ago nobody really knew of, and now here he is. I think he's put about 85% of his kicks into the end zone. We talked about what a weapon it is. You've got 80 yards to go. You're in the play. Like, you didn't have a chance to even, hey, maybe we get to break one here on the kickoff. You have to go 80 yards as soon as they score, and it's just that it's a drain mentally for you. And especially because you're not getting those big plays. You're not getting the 20 and 30-yard chunk plays. So now you're looking to go 80 yards, but and obviously not now. We're at the end of the half, but you're having to do it. It's going to take you 10, 12, 14 plays to do that. That's a heck of a hard thing for a high school kid to do, to be focused and to execute just time and time and time again like that against a team that is so good.
And Independent just going to take a knee here. Just wind the first half out. It's an impressive performance from the Huff Huskies so far. Be sure to stay tuned with us on our BahakelSports.com halftime report here from Huff High School. And, of course, we will be somewhere next week for continued coverage of playoff action. Our halftime score, 33-3. Huskies dominant right now in second round action. We'll be back with more halftime here on BahakelSports.com.
Years, Scott Taylor was the man in charge on the hardwoods at Myers Park. In his 8th and final year there, the Mustangs won the most regular season games in school history and won the 4A state title. Now Taylor is the man in charge at a brand new school that did not even exist a year ago or have a gym a few months ago.
Yeah, there was a gym here, but it didn't look like this, right? The structure was in place, but even then, the first meeting that I had with Coach Pogue, our athletic director, was up there in the cafe up at the front of the school, and everything else was under construction.
Including all the athletic programs. So Scott Taylor was given a clean slate to work with when it came to starting a basketball team.
It's a different opportunity to create a bigger, broader community, and that comes with a different feel, but that's no less special. It's no less significant. It's just unique.
And as the head coach of the Ambassador Christian Lions for a short period of time and just 2 games into their schedule, Scott Taylor has already had a huge impact on his players.
Coach Taylor has been big on leadership and just teaching us the right way to play the game. Just establishing like a new strong culture that we can carry on for years with us and after us when we leave.
Yeah, it's been awesome just being able to play for a guy like Coach Taylor. He just wants us to come into practice every day and just give 100% and then just dial that into the game.
With the Lions at Ambassador Christian, Jeff Taylor, WCCB News.
We welcome you back to Cornelius, where Huff has a commanding 33-3 lead here at halftime of our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week in second-round action of the West Region of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Tonight's Bahakel Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by 988lifeline.org. Call, text, or chat 988-24-7. Let's get through it together. Once again, Independence scored first with a 25-yard field goal from Lyric Copera. They got on the board first. Huff, 33 unanswered points and a commanding lead here at the break. We'll recap some more right after these messages on BahakelSports.com. It's 33-3, Huff on top of Independence here at halftime of our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week as we come back to you here from Cornelius, North Carolina. Kendall Lewis alongside the former coach Brian Hales with you tonight. We'll take a look at some first half highlights. This was the first touchdown. Trey Blakeney to 6'3", Tyron Evans for a big-time catch and run to the crib. The first touchdown, that was where Huff started this massive run and everyone getting involved. Sean Brady and Ciso, Jamison Funderburk, just a wealth of talent and guys all over the field for the Huskies.
No, and I mean, and I've just been so impressed with the offensive line play. Because whether it's the run game, you saw in the first highlight there with the deep ball, Trey had all day back there to throw. They've just been dominant up front, just allowing Huff to really run whatever they want.
Here is the final touchdown, the second of the night to Tyron Evans over the middle. The last one that extended the Huff lead to 30, and they lead it 33-3. All Huskies in the first half of this one. We've got the second half coming up here in just a few on Bahakel Sports. Almost set to start the second half here between Huff and Independence. The Huskies leading this one 33-3. We appreciate you tuning in from wherever you may be tonight. It was all Huff in the first half. We'll take another look at those highlights from the first half, and you're seeing why Trey Blakeney is heading to play Division I college football next year. The Austin Peay signee delivering a bomb to start on the first drive for Huff. And then how about Sean Brady, another Division I talent, and the downfield blocking you and I talked so much about on that play. Just textbook.
Right, and it was Evans and Ciso. I mean, two big-time star players getting out there doing the dirty work.
And this offensive line, you can't say it enough. We mentioned they average 305 across the front, but you said it best, Coach. It's not just that how big they are. It's how big they play.
Yeah.
This is an offensive line that is the aggressor, that has won basically the battle in the trenches in all their games this year.
And, you know, I mean, you look, there's 3 seniors up there, you know, so guys that have been in big games and things like that. So the playoff environment, you know, really is not going to affect these guys. Like I said, you know, a kid like Keondae Marsh in the middle, like he's going to have them loose and playing hard, and you know, and it's just been, they've just been, you know, they've been great up front tonight. You know, I mean, you talk about these 2 coaches at halftime and 2 just vastly different messages that, you know, that they had to have with their teams. You know, when you look at Independence first, you know, Coach McFadden, I'm sure, you know, being as positive as he possibly be, you try to lay out, you know, kind of the roadmap. This is how we got to come back. You know, we got to create turnovers. We got to get stops. We got to have big plays. We got to do some aggressive things and maybe some things that are out of character. Whereas Huff, you're talking about finishing strong, you know, trying to play a perfect second half here, be penalty free, and also you have an opportunity to get some of your depth, some reps too. Some of those number 2 guys, possibly some of these number 3 guys, because, you know, again, the program like Huff, some of those 2s and 3s might be Division I football players down the road, you know, also.
No doubt. And we talked about it. We showed you the playoff bracket, but the advantage now is the Watauga Mallard Creek game got pushed back to tomorrow night since Watauga County schools were out today due to a remote virtual learning day. Of course, the snow came through the western part of North Carolina. So now the winner of this one gets an extra day. You know, really, it's going to be a shorter week for the winner of that Watauga Mallard Creek game.
It is, you know, but the tough part is, you know, you get these routines as coaches, and a lot of times Saturday's a big film day for you. You know, not necessarily with your kids. Like, you might bring your kids in and watch tonight's game in the morning. Like we would do that at Butler. Like we would bring the kids in, we get a little yoga routine going, and get them out of there. You know, but now you're not going to have that day, you know, as a coach to sit back and watch, you know, watch the tape of, you know, either Creek or Watauga. Of course, Huff's already played Creek, so they probably already, you know, have a decent, you know, game plan already. But, you know, maybe they go up, you know, as a staff to watch the game, but it's going to be pretty cold up there at Watauga. I don't know. I think I might wait for the film to come
And there will be snow on the ground tomorrow night in that game, too, which will be fun. As Independence kicks it off here to start the second half. This one taken from the 1. A little shake and bake. Uh-oh. Room on the outside. Brady cuts it back across the 35. He's finally dragged down.
Yeah, great job by Huff getting it blocked up. You know, it starts with those guys up front. It really, you know, especially when you have a kid like Sean Brady back there, you just want to get a body on a body. Like you're not looking for knockout blocks and things like that. Just get a body on a body. You know, maybe you've indicated we want a left return, so you want to kind of, as you're blocking, kind of favor that side a little bit. But again, with the kid like Sean Brady back there, you don't have to do much for him to make some hay.
Well, the Huskies will take over on the Independence 35 here to start the third quarter. Blakeney takes the snap. It's a handoff, and Ciso just searching for the hole. He finds it, and a nice pickup.
Yeah, just another solid kid. You know, 6 foot, 200 pounds. You see these guys up close, and I mean, some of them you don't think they lift weights. You think they eat weights up here at Huff. I think they're some big, strong kids.
That's a pickup of 6 yards from Anciso, and then Independence.
See, and that kind of that fascinates me a little bit because you saw all the Huffo linemen stand up at the same time and look to the sideline. Some referees will throw a flag on the offense in that situation because they're kind of what they'll say, they're simulating the snap of the ball.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of those. It could go either way. It depends on what referees you got out there.
Just a disastrous start right now. Yeah, the big return, the 6-yard run, and then a penalty from Independence. Sets up first down. Blakeney looking. Blakeney fires. It's caught. Evans Completed about the 15.
Yeah, and you see them, they're just working their stuff here. They get soft coverage down here to the short side of the field. So he runs the out route, and it's big for the quarterback to be on time on time with that. So in that case, when Evans turns his head, that ball should already be on the way, if not already almost on him. These are things, you get in a game like this, these are things you want to make sure you're checking these boxes, you're working on these things, because you may need these things down the road.
It's a 9-yard catch from Tyron Evans. Here's a handoff. Trying to bounce it to the outside. He's finally brought down.
And there's just so much versatility with the Huff offense. In that case, you have Sutton in the backfield with Funderburk, and you have Enciso up, playing a wing position. But, you can obviously see, Enciso or Funderburk back there carrying the ball. Like we already talked about, they're giving the ball to Sean Brady on some jet sweeps. Yeah, just that versatility. It brings this offense to another level when you can kind of move these same players around, and it kind of makes it hard to game plan individual players when you don't know where they're going to be lined up all the time.
Second 10 from the 14. Blakeney, he'll tuck it and go.
Yeah, nice job by Independence. Recognize a little throwback screen there.
The tackle by number 6, Bryce Lofton.
But again, going back to the formation of personnel stuff, like that time, Funderburk was lined up as a tight end over here on the right side. And again, at 6 foot 220, he's a guy pretty well handled himself pretty well down there in the trenches.
Pick up of 4 yards. Will bring up 3rd and 6. For the Huskies. Ball spotted on the 10-yard line. Here with 9:32 to go in the third. We've got a timeout.
Charge to the Huskies.
As Huff will take it here with 9:32 left to play in the third quarter. Kendall Lewis, Brian Hales here with you tonight on BahakelSports.com. Again, we appreciate you tuning in from wherever you may be. Cold and chilly. And, of course, winds up to 15, 20 miles an hour at times here in this one tonight.
Yeah, there's a little bit more than that where we're staying in too.
Yeah.
We're roughing it there. We're out here in the tent.
Certainly the coldest day of the year in North Carolina this year. That wind chill's got it down tonight. Everyone bundled up, and a nice turnout for the weather being what it is tonight.
And really, touched on it earlier, this Cornelius community, since Huff High School's been open, it's such a great school with great academics, great athletics. This community really wraps their arms around them.
Blakeney throws it back corner. It's intercepted.
And that's exactly, what we're talking about. You get down here in a situation like this, the things you don't want to do if you're Huff. Independence has a long road to. They're down 30 points.
And that was Bryce Lofton, who they call their cover corner on the interception.
And just, in this situation here, if you're Blakeney, and I'm sure as soon as he gets inside, Coach Baker is going to talk to him about just throwing this one away. So, you're for Independence, you're Coach McFadden, you're talking about, hey, we got to get some turnovers, we got to get some stops. All right, guys, here we go. We got our turnover. Let's get something going on offense here. O-line, let's make sure we're getting up into these guys. Let's make sure we're getting people moved. At receivers, if this ball's thrown to you, you got to make sure you're catching it.
They hand off Jones up the middle. And he's immediately pushed back on the carry for Independence.
Yeah, just not even making much of a dent there in the front. I mean, really only about a yard and a half.
Gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for Independence.
Gave him 3 there. 2nd and 7. Justin Little, the quarterback, who's been a 3-year starter for the Patriots. Coach McFadden just has been solid since he has been the starter his 10th grade year.
That pass rush again.
Pressure here. Little rolling, fires.
Intercepted.
Is it intercepted? It is.
And guess who? You know,
Samari Matthews.
You know, I was just getting ready to say we hadn't said Samari Matthews' name all night, which is because he's just so good at covering people. They don't even try to throw his way. Now you see why.
What a pick from Matthews. And clean.
You know, Samari Matthews is 6'1", 175-pound junior cornerback. Like I said, you know, we're talking a 5-star recruit. He's got his choice. Pretty much any college football team in America he could go and play for in 2 years. Because, again, he's just a junior. But, you know, I mean, you look at his stats on the year, 12 total tackles, 1 interception. You know, it's just – and, again, that just tells you how effective he is over there. That you just don't see much action. So now you have all the rest of these 10 defenders. They only got to defend 2/3 of the field between the 10 of them.
Low snap. They give it to Enciso, and he still picks up a few.
See Bryce Lee with nice pursuit down the line of scrimmage. Get involved on the tackle, kind of keep it to a minimal gain.
Tell you what looked like might be a busted play on that low snap. A nice little pickup of 3 for Jason Enciso on the carry. Second 7 from the 29. Quick throw to win on the catch. And he gets across the 20 before he's tackled.
Yeah, nice job by Blake. He's getting the ball. He's getting the ball to everybody. You know, obviously Enciso, Funderburg. We've seen the big plays down the field. The 6'3", the 6'3" Evans, and now getting Ashwad Wynn involved.
At the 20-yard line.
They'll spot it at the 20. And a 1st and 10 with a timeout here at the 7:45 mark of the third quarter.
And not to put the cart in front of the horse here, but it's kind of looking like Huff's going to be moving on after this one. You know, so when you're talking about getting the ball to a kid like Wynn or maybe getting to the ball, number 21 Morrison here a little bit in the second half, because when you look down the road when there's a Grimsley out there, when there's a Weddington out there. When you have, great players, a lot of times those great players are going to cancel each other out.
Yeah.
It's that next group of guys. Who's going to step up from that next group of guys that you don't necessarily expect a major contribution from? A lot of times, those are the guys that are going to win you those tight ball games. So, again, nice job, by Trey Blakeney here. He spread the ball around.
Blakeney on the toss to Brady. Brady, breakaway speed, and into the end zone for another touchdown.
Yeah, nice job by Coach Baker here. They just go with an unbalanced look in here. They put all the extra blockers into the sideline, toss it. Why wouldn't you give it to Sean Brady?
Just that burst. And Huff just piles on here early in the third quarter. Chance for the point after for Happy and the Huskies of Huff.
Yeah, if you're Huff here on offense, you can almost spin a wheel and, who are you going to give the ball to this time?
Another bad snap. And that is the third. Oh, this one's picked up.
It's a dead ball.
And it's dead.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that is the third point after that the Huskies have not been able to convert on.
Right, so that's something. Wow. And again, talking about looking down the road, you're expecting a tight game.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on BahakelSports.com.
Nice driving here.
I am Bruno Hinojosa and I live in Asheville. I work in construction and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. I went to their website, applied, and got covered. Doctor visits, yearly checkups, and even emergency care if I need it. Being a business owner can be stressful at times, but knowing that I got covered, it just takes weight off my shoulders. And I can get the care that I need when I need it at low or no cost. And it's one less thing I need to worry about now.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
39-3, Huff with a commanding lead over the Independence Patriots here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. Kendall Lewis, Brian Hales here with you on a cold and chilly Friday night here in Cornelius.
I'll tell you, one place that's probably not chilly is down there along that Huff sideline right now. That's probably about the warmest place in Charlotte.
Candler happy to kick it off for the Huskies.
He's been pretty consistent putting the ball to the end zone all night. We'll see if he gets another one there. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. Independence will be able to return it.
Picked up at about the 10. Jones scampers across the 25 to about the 26.
I know that makes Coach McFadden a little bit nervous. You know, that's been several times you see Jaden let that ball hit the ground first before he picks it up and runs. That's the thing about football, man. Those things aren't round. You don't know where they're going to bounce once they hit the ground. You try to avoid that as much as you can on special teams.
So can Independence find something here on offense? Again, they had the interception in the end zone. What looked like might be a bright spot in the third quarter. Then Little threw the interception. It was picked off by Samari Matthews to follow. And Huff able to punch it in for 6.
You know, and now I think, you know, you're almost getting to a point, you know, it's starting to get a little bit late. The writing's kind of on the wall. You know, those 21 seniors for Independence, starting to realize this is probably the last time they're going to be on the high school football field. Those guys are going to play their hearts out here for the last quarter and a half.
We talked about it, Independence making the run all the way to the regional finals, losing to eventual state champion Weddington a season ago. And Little sacked. And getting in there is Chris Hilliard.
Yeah, it's not often, in the long history of this Independence program, you know, certainly in the last 25 years, where you've seen them in a situation like this. So, you know, and this is another tough job, you know, as a coach is trying to work through situations like this, you know, stay positive, you know, keep these kids playing hard.
This brings up 3rd and 14 for Independence.
You know, and I think you'd probably start to see Huff maybe after this series start. You know, start seeing some of these guys. You know, Cameron and Mentier and Hilliard and them start coming off the field.
This one incomplete. That brings up another NC Medicaid 4th down. And brought to you by NC Medicaid. More people get full health care coverage with $4 max copays. You can find out more at medicaid.nc.gov.
You know, and I don't think you're going to see much of a rush here out of Huff. You know, kind of play this safe. You know, Independence kind of tighten up their formation to take that short edge away from Quick.
Punt time for Independence. Of course, another Huff touchdown would enable the running clock as well. 42 points. High school rules will start that running clock. Great punt. And Independence will down this one at about the 43-yard line. And that's where the Huff offense will take over here at the 5:37 mark of the third quarter.
37-yard line. Next series for the Huskies begins there.
So yeah, Coach, you talked about it a lot. You think about the run that Independence made last year, this group of seniors, and then they had go 10-1 this year. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a team that, a group of seniors, their last couple of years, nothing to be ashamed of. Of course, used to winning, to say the least.
Well,
and Ciso breaks one off up the middle. And Ciso after burners. 10-5 touchdown.
Yeah, man, 63 yards. You got an Independence kick down still. You know, and I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but the absence of Dallas Brandon.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, the leader of this football team, you know, not just emotionally, but, you know, I think, you know, 13 tackles a game, not having that tonight really kind of, you know, really starting to show up. You know, and certainly that's no slight to Zanger Crow. Marty, you know, another senior's out here, he's playing his heart out. But, you know, Dallas Brandon, you're talking about one of the top juniors in North Carolina.
That's 13 tackles a game that they lost. Would have certainly helped. And this Huff offense, though, and of course, we got a Patriot that's down on the field as well, shaken up. Deshaun Wilkes.
All right, so Huff, we've had our last 3 extra point attempts. We've had some issues here, so you know we'll see if Huskies and Coach Walter get this one cleaned up.
You hope Wilkes is okay. He is a UNC Pembroke commit. He's got more football ahead in his future. And they are working on him over on the Independent sideline.
You know, if my Kent State math is right, you know, this puts us at the 42-point mark. So now you know what happens here in North Carolina. Once a team gets up by 42 in the second half, the only time the clock stops here is really after timeout or for timeouts and for injuries.
They'll go for 2, and Blakeney just walks right in.
Yeah, and I hope it's a lack of confidence in their PAT field goal team that they went for 2 there. Because again, you had the 42-point cushion, so you know I tend to think it has something to do with that.
Makes it 47-3 with about 5.5 left to play here in the third quarter as we take a second look at the replay.
Yeah, and again, he wasn't touched till he's probably about 60 yards downfield. He's able to break that tackle, but again, I mean, you talk about that offensive line for Huff, and you know, Amir, Lawrence Broom, Deontay Berry, Keondae Marsh, Jarvis Potts, Sean Kennedy, average 6'3", 305 pounds, just really manhandled, you know, Independence all night long up front.
So that does enable, as we were talking about, 42 points in the second half, enables the running clock. Unless Independence can put points on the board, get it back below that threshold, this clock will continue to run for the duration of the game as long as it's a 42-plus point lead.
No, actually, it's even now. Even if it goes below 42, it
still continues to run once it's inactive.
Yeah, so once it hits that 42, it just goes. And there's probably, even with 4 minutes here, there might be 2 possessions left for each team, maybe 3, depending on how fast they go. But yeah, you start to see, you know, some of the depth for Huff getting out there into the game now.
20-yard line.
But it doesn't look like they're going wholesale changes just yet. You know, a couple pieces here, a couple pieces there. You know, you do everything you can to try to get these kids as many reps as you can, but, you know, it's just tough when you get ready, you know, to make sure there's enough reps for everyone. So by having some of those older veteran players out there, the younger players, it kind of ensures that everybody knows where to line up, what their job is.
And Sincere Brewster, number 51, makes the tackle after a 2-yard gain. Second and 8.
Couple of yards on the carry, brings up 2nd and 8.
You know, when you think about a kid, you know, you look at Justin Little out there for Independence. He's been such a big part of really a big turnaround, you know, for what Coach McFadden did at Independence. You know, they're kind of lost in the woods there, in the 2010s. They had a stretch there of over 4 years where they had 5 different head coaches.
Yeah.
And, when DJ came back and he brought that, not just that name recognition, being back at your alma mater, but year 4, and he's had this, quarterback, and he's been building, and, you see them, they're in the mix with conference championships. You talked about deep playoff runs and things like that, so he knows there's even better days still ahead, for this Patriot football team.
Independence, of course, they had the run in the early 2000s, 10 straight state championships under the Tommy Knotts era. At one point, 109 straight wins. As you mentioned, DJ McFadden, he was a 2007 grad of Independence.
Yeah.
Has certainly revamped this program, and of course tonight didn't go the way they had planned, but this group of seniors in this program certainly headed in the right direction, and they'll be back year in and year out.
Oh, no doubt about it. And it's not just for the players that there's a lot to learn in games like this. Even for the coaches. For Coach McFadden, he's never really been in a situation where he's been down like this. As soon as he got to Independence, they started winning games, and but even before he was at Independence, he was with us at Butler for a year. He was at Myers Park when they were winning a bunch of games. He was an assistant at Mallard Creek when they were winning a lot of games. And obviously his high school career, I'm not sure that he ever lost a game. So, it's an opportunity for him, to be in this situation. This is how I'm going to address this team. This is how I'm going to handle these situations.
And Independence going to take a timeout here with 1:28 left to play in the third quarter. Independence scored the first 3 points at the Lyric Copera field goal, and then it's been 47 unanswered from the Huskies tonight. Just a dominating performance for Deshaun Baker in this program. And there's a look at what awaits next Friday night. Winner of Watauga Mallard Creek.
Yeah, and it won't make much of a difference this weekend. But one thing from a coach's perspective here is you're not sure yet where you're going to go. Next week, so you got to have a plan in place. What are we going to do if Watauga wins? What time are we leaving? What are we doing? Where are we going to do pregame meal? Yep. All the logistics that are involved in that. The other side of the coin is it's Creek, and they're coming here if they get the win tomorrow night. But again, hats off to Justin Little back there. Just, he's been such a great player, such a consistent player, such a big part, really putting Independence back on the map, back where, in the landscape of North Carolina's high school football, Independence really should be.
And he's a kid that still trying to figure out his future, wants to play college football. Of course, has interest in, we talked about with that portal, it's made it even more difficult, I feel like, on high school quarterbacks, especially, to try and find that home, not knowing what's going to come out of the portal for a lot of these programs.
Well, right, and it's such a trickle-down effect because, as a university president, I'm looking at my, my football coach saying, well, you have the NIL, you have the transfer portal, you can basically create your own roster, you better win some football games. So now as a coach, do I want to put my future in the future, this is how I feed my family. Do I want to put that in the hands of some 18-year-old kid who, has been playing high school football? Or
this
you
one fumbled, and Independence recovers.
There you go, Indy. Got a break right there. Muff the punt.
Let's see if we can take a second look.
Yeah, looks like you just never got the handle on it.
Take a look. Just never quite lassoed it in. Lost the football, and it was picked up and recovered.
You see Malachi and Solomon coming down to recover. Good to see him. He went out a little earlier in the game with an injury. But I'm not surprised at all to see Malachi come back in this game.
Final 10 seconds here, the third quarter.
Let's see if Indy tries to push it down the field here a little bit.
And they'll let the clock expire out. After 3, 47-3. Huff leads on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. We'll be right back. We come back to the fourth quarter play where Huff leads this one 47-3. I don't know if anyone expected this to turn out how it is. It has been all Huff since the start.
Yeah, let's see if Independence wants to try to push the ball downfield here. You know, at some point you got some of those, number 2 defensive linemen in the game. So you kind of, especially, if Independence still has their starters in, but
ball's loose.
We got a loose ball. Indy got it back. So you would hope here you got a little bit better pass protection right now, and that was the one thing. Even if Independence was trying to get the ball downfield early in the game, which they did a few times, it's just with that pass rush to Huff, it's just hard, for those routes to get downfield before, in this case, Justin's having to step up or either run or get rid of it to a shorter route.
Independence, their motto all year has been finish, and of course this is not what you'd hope for, but a chance to maybe send these seniors out the right way if they can find on a positive note here.
Right.
And get in the end zone.
Number one, obviously you want to get out of here healthy, but again, you're looking for some positive things. You got a good bunch of younger players coming back also, so it's an opportunity to say, hey, look, this is where we're trying to go. This is what we're trying to get to. This is the work we've got to put in to get there.
Third down at 14. For Independence as the clock continues to move here. That running clock. Once you reach 42 in the second half.
Play action, in cut.
Good throw, just drops and incomplete.
Yeah, that's he tried to go to Reggie Hough that time. It's just tough, I think that's Hoach's first opportunity to catch a ball like that. You go through your pregame warm-up and all that.
This will bring up our NC Medicaid fourth down. Folks, once again, find out more at medicaid.nc.gov.
But yeah, you go through your pregame warm-up and you catch all these balls and everything to get loose, and here we are, and it's we're 2 hours after that happened, 2.5 hours after that warm-up, and it's just tough to catch a ball like that. Kind of bounce the snap back.
Snap.
Got it off though. Nice job, Lyric, getting that ball off.
Coach Perez done that a couple of times tonight, where you think that he's dead to rights back there, somehow gets the punt off, and this one down.
Good to see him
10-yard line.
Good to see him bounce up too. Looked like we had a little, we'll call it, I guess, incidental contact back there. After he got that ball away.
Lyric Copera, a terrific soccer player as well. We called a couple of his games in his soccer career in Independence.
Now we get a chance to see a kid that I know these coaches at Huff are really, really high on, and that's Ethan Royal.
Yep.
He was sophomore, 6'1", 185 pounds. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns on the year versus 1 interception. He's completed about 75% of his balls. But they are really, really excited about the future with this young man.
Hunter against the Patriots for an illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution on the Patriots. This will be set up 1st and 5, now from the 15-yard line for Huff. Royal on the keeper. It's undercut, pickup of a couple.
Not surprised to see a play call like that. Get him in the game. Let's go. Let's let you run the ball a little bit. Maybe a little contact. Kind of get you into the flow before we do much else. I'd be, I wouldn't be surprised if you throw the ball a little bit here. Maybe some short things. Just, to get Ethan some reps.
After the gain of 3. 2nd and 2.
2nd down and 2. Royal, he'll hand this one off up the middle.
But, yeah, I think we're more likely to see a steady dose of run game.
And that's another 988-lifeline.org. First down. Folks, you can call, text, or chat 988-24/7. Let's get through it together. Yeah, you made a great point. This is kind of where you can build some of your depth, especially if you're Huff. And they've been able to do this not just in last week and their playoff wins that have been big these first 2 weeks, but that one's incomplete for Royal. But think about it. How many times this year, Coach, have the Huskies had that running clock in their conference that they've been able to get a lot of these guys in to play as well?
Right. And but when you're looking at a situation like that, it's a double-edged sword, because you're going to find yourself here in a game real soon with somebody where it's going to be the 4th quarter and, the game's going to be hanging in the balance. And if you haven't been competitive in a long time, that may show up. And that's where, having a team that's as balanced as this offensively and defensively, where they've got to get some really good work in practice during the week so they're able to stay sharp.
Royal, good throw, catch made. And that was Sire Sutton on the catch for the Huskies.
Great season, Independence kids, still hustling, flying around, making tackles, things like that. And again, that's what Coach McFadden's building towards. Just you're going to play hard because that's just what we do. Doesn't matter what the score is. Doesn't matter how much time's left. We just play hard.
Cutting this one back up to
Morrison
up the seam.
Jamarian Morrison, the ball carrier.
Was Jamarian Morrison.
Yeah, you talk about young talent. This is a 9th grader here, 5'9", 205. 13 carries for 187 yards on the year for him. But again, you got a sophomore and a freshman back here in the backfield now getting playoff reps. So, on the one side of the coin, they're getting reps. The other side is your starters over here drinking Gatorade in the second half again.
Royal. Flushed out of the pocket. Royal turns on the Jets. Royal up the sideline. Gets across the 40 and ushered out of bounds.
It's just such another weapon to have. You're trying to throw the ball downfield. Your protection, it didn't even really break down. He just didn't see an open receiver, so he took the ball and ran with it. But again, nice job. You got an entire second group of offensive linemen in there. Playing, still playing against a lot of starters from Independence. You see Bryce Lee still out there.
Just over 5 to play.
It's a little power run here. Lead with the fullback. Bring the backside guard around to lead through. You try to down block the whole left side here. Trying to build an inside wall there.
Well, and it's interesting. You look at Huff coming into tonight, getting ready to move to 11-1 on the year. Their one loss came in week 1. Against a South Carolina Power in Northwestern, in which they had a 21-point lead late in the 3rd quarter in that game and lost 45-44.
And that's one of those things. Anytime you lose, you're going to hate to lose. But a situation like that, if you're going to lose a game like that, the first game of the year is the best time to do it because now you've got your team's attention. If you've got your team's attention, you can always say, "Do you remember what happened when?" So as much as you hate to lose, sometimes that loss, especially coming out of the gate, your team with real high expectations, for that to happen, it's a great opportunity as a coaching staff, to talk about focus, to talk about finish. It also lets you know, hey, you're not invincible. Like, you need to come and need to play great every night.
Last pass from Royal incomplete. This brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you see the clock continues to go. That's, these running clocks, it goes fast like that.
Once again, if you weren't with us earlier, Huff will await the winner of Watauga and Mallard Creek. That game will be played tomorrow night. Due to the weather today, Watauga County Schools were not in school today, so had to push the game back to tomorrow. And I imagine there's still going to be some snow on the ground in Watauga County tomorrow night. That should be a fun battle with especially the play style that the Pioneers of Watauga play.
Oh, yeah, and that's something, if you haven't seen it, I mean, just the variety of shifts and motions and different things that they do, it really makes it hard on defensive coordinators, keeps those guys up late that week. But tell you what, that might be one of the fastest games in the state tomorrow night. I don't think you're going to see the ball, in the air very much, not necessarily because of the conditions, but just that's the way these teams play.
Neither team throws it much, huh?
No, sir.
Loss back to the 22. It's 2nd and 12 for Huff.
That's a loss of 2. Will bring up 2nd down and 12 for Ethan Royal and the Huff Huskies.
See some of the future stars of the Huff Huskies.
They just reload. Here's Royal using his legs. Royal trying to hurdle.
Yeah, that's not really something, you're excited to see your quarterback do. But look, I mean, he does a nice job. He just sees a huge hole open up in his pass protection. And again, just smart play, pull the ball down. No need to throw and take a risk of an interception, anything like that. Just get some yards. Keep this thing going towards the end zone. We'll see if Coach Baker and them elect to finish this drive off. Are they going to take a knee to kind of finish it?
Royal will keep this one
short. 4th and 1.
Just over 90 seconds left to play. Well, Huff will march on. They will punch their ticket to the 3rd round as the 5 seed in the West region. And unfortunately for Independence, a terrific season. It all comes to a close tonight.
Again, a lot to be proud of for these Independence kids.
Yep.
We talked last week when we were doing the Lake Norman game that you talk about leaving a situation better than you found it. And what these seniors came into, with the state that the program was in then, kind of getting to 500, maybe not quite getting to 500 some years. For them to come in and lay this foundation where they're 10-1 and it's just, you could definitely say they've left this situation better than they found it.
Royal trying to sneak into the end zone was brought down.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
And the clock will tick out. So Huff will pick up their 11th win of the season, and they are moving on to the 3rd round of the state playoffs next Friday night. They'll await the winner of Watauga and Mallard Creek, the 4-13 matchup that will not take place until tomorrow night. Just a dominating performance and a balanced attack from the Huff Huskies. 47 unanswered points, and Independence's season unfortunately comes to a close. They finish out 10-2. And we can't say enough about those 21 seniors for DJ McFadden's group. These last couple of years have been terrific. And no question that Coach McFadden and the Patriots will be back year in and year out.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I can't sit here tonight and say that Huff is the best team in the state, but it's going to take somebody really, really good, to knock these guys out of the playoffs. And if you're going to win a state championship, and again, you mentioned the Max Preps poll earlier, the 10th toughest state championship to win, then this is evidence why. This may be the best team in the state. This may be the 5th or 6th best team in the state. You know, we don't know, but that's the beauty of getting together here in November. You know, we got Black Friday games coming up and all that.
I'll tell you one thing, partner. They sent shockwaves to the rest of the state tonight when everyone sees this final score, 47-3. And the Huff Huskies are for real. They do it in dominating fashion here on our Bahakel Sports Game of the Week. For Kendall Lewis, Brian Hales, and the rest of our Bahakel Sports production crew, we say good night from Cornelius.
Huskies offensively. Tyler Evans, an 87